Now, moving on, the founder of FairFuelUK has delivered a petition to number 10 today with 126,000 signatures in support of keeping fuel duty frozen. FairFuelUK has been successfully preventing 14 years of planned fuel duty rises, getting the government to adopt Pump Watch for transparent and honest pump prices, and even influence the petrol and diesel new car sales ban being moved from a draconian 2030 target to 2035. And you can see pictures on your screen there of this man. Howard Cox joins me in the studio, the founder of FairFuelUK, Howard Cox. Howard, well done. The petition was so big when you handed it in. I'm surprised you hadn't put your back out, mate.
It was very, very heavy indeed. I mean, we had two of those, and I had the lovely and fantastic Jonathan Gullis with me, MP for Stoke-on-Trent North, who is effectively taking over the chair of our APPG for FairFuelUK in Parliament, and it was great. And the best thing about really today is not only delivering the 126,000, but delivering a letter that contained 40 MPs and peers, some big heavyweights like Suella Braverman, Priti Patel, Lord Frost, David Frost. They signed it and said, hey, stop this attack on motorists into their pockets and start giving them a break in the budget next week.
And aside from fantastic numbers, 126,000, that is a lot of folks, a lot of motorists. It gives hope that there might be some common sense in this debate, because we feel continued, don't we, how there's a war on motorists, it's a one-way war of attrition and we're losing out, but you've got some political heavyweights standing up for us.
Yeah, I think so. There's a little bit of a cynic in me. It is an election year, and obviously there's 37 million motorists, and obviously they all vote. But to be fair, the people who have signed it have always consistently been behind FairFuelUK and what I've been trying to do for the last 15 years. And really, from my point of view, I even bumped into Minister Robert Halfon right outside the number 10, who is an absolute dream. He was Mr FairFuelUK in Parliament, and it was great. And we're going to have a pint again soon, but he can't help us visually because obviously he's in government. But the most important thing for Wednesday week is he's got to wake up and realise and make this budget a driver's budget. Wake up and realise drivers should be seen as the commercial heartbeat of the economy and a solution to getting out of the cost of living crisis, rather than actually just seeing them as pure cash cows. So fingers crossed.
Well, Howard, a lot of people watching the show would agree that the cash cow is being milked dry. Do you think you're going to get a result?
Yes, I think so. It would be economic and political suicide for one to put it up by 5p. The Office of Budget Responsibility. I think I've said that a few times before. Now I'm going to continue to say it. They are saying that we've got to put it up 5p to actually pay for the national insurance cuts we've recently so-called enjoyed. But yeah, I'm optimistic. I just think, come on, let's go for it. I've actually gone even further. Cut it by 20p. That's right, the 20 pence per litre. And do it for 6 months to see what happens to not only the economy, because it would actually blossom beyond belief if we did have that cut in fuel duty, but more importantly, it would deliver votes to the Tories.
Howard, as I've got you here, can I ask you to pass comment on what's been going on with Lee Anderson? Obviously, it's kicked off his comments about Sadiq Khan. Do you think he should apologise?
I personally don't think he should apologise. The only thing is, I mean, there's an elephant in this room which we're ignoring, and he brought it out in I think, the wrong way. I think his words were actually, I think, inappropriate. But in terms of actually what's happening out there, it's a big worry. You had an egg thrown at you and all that things, projected onto the Big Ben. All that sort of thing, with police just standing and letting him get away with it. There is an issue, and when I become Mayor of London, I want to bring all these parties together and say, how do we solve this? We've got to do something about it in a constructive way. And maybe Lee may have second thoughts in the way he delivered it, but in terms of the sentiment, I think people agree with him.
And this debate really, Howard, was about the fact that the Metropolitan Police Force simply don't seem to be upholding law and order with fear or favour. That's why I was pelted with eggs and God knows what else. I didn't have a problem with the protesters. It was like, why aren't you arresting that guy who's wearing a full face balaclava? Why aren't you taking that projector down? Why aren't you getting that person who's got an anti-Semitic placard? There is a feeling that the police are taking sides, two-tiered policing.
And yet we saw that guy who was actually objected to some of the Palestinian marches the other day. He had a flag, and to cut a long story short, he was arrested. He was moved out of the way, and all he was saying to me, look, Hamas are terrorists, which is a fact. And so, I wish Lee well, and it's a shame he's lost the whip, but who knows, he may be part of reform one day.
Well, that's a tantalising thought to dribble out there. Thank you very much, Howard Cox.